Hey, this is Dr. B, and in this video, I'm going to talk about the process that I went through in order to create assignments in Google Classroom that I think will be really useful. So, like many of you, I decided to go fully digital over the summer. I teach college courses and high school courses, and typically my method would be to hand them out a paper packet and I spent a lot of time at the photocopier. And this year I really wanted to go digital. So I researched it a little bit. I wanted something that would look really sharp, even if it cost a fair amount of money. And so I ended up going with PowerPoint, which I use for everything, my assignments, my videos, everything's in PowerPoint, and I have my own reasons for that. Uh, but I found that it was difficult to come up with something that's a fillable form. I wanted students to be able to have a homework assignment, say like a worksheet, and they don't have to, take a picture of the document, which is what so many people are doing. Instead, it's a fillable form. And for that, everybody thinks about Adobe Acrobat. So I downloaded a copy of Adobe Acrobat and it gets a little unwieldy. First, you have to create your document, which I did in PowerPoint, fine. Then you have to make your little boxes that people can fill in, and you do that in Adobe. And now you've got a PDF, but it's fillable. Now, what if you wanted to go back and edit that PowerPoint, which you probably will at some point? Well, you actually can do it fairly well in Adobe Acrobat DC, but you got to pay like $15 a month for it. So I thought I had a really cool solution. In my documents, it looked like this. That's pretty small, but you can see that you've got a nice type of document that you could never make really in Word, with all this formatting. You can just arrange anything anywhere. That's one of the reasons I like PowerPoint. And there's your little forms, and the students can fill those out, and wonderful. Now, I thought that was the way to go. But when you put it in Google Classroom, you run into all sorts of problems. There's no way you can edit it once it's in Google Classroom. And you are going to edit it. You're going to find typos, things like that. So that would mean that for all the assignments that I was about to create, and it's a lot, right? 15 chapters per course. I've got lots of courses. I'm looking at a big project over the summer, but I was ready to pull the trigger because I thought it would be modern and sharp. But then when I put it in Google Classroom, I realized that what am I going to do? If I just want to add an exclamation point to my document, I'm going to have to take it out, put it in PowerPoint, add the exclamation point, uh, save it as a PDF, blah, 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 or I guess I could upload it with Adobe Acrobat DC, la, la, la. But, it just seemed unwieldy for a process that you're going to have to do so many, like delete the assignment, redo it, that sort of thing. So instead, I did some research and I found that in Google Classroom, there's really only one way to come up with a document that is live and editable. And not surprisingly, that's to use Google Docs, be it slides or PowerPoint, things like that. Now, PowerPoint does not transfer into Google Slides perfectly. They're getting better at it. And I tried playing around, and it's just not perfect. And oh boy, it would be a summer's worth of editing. But then I realized that for most of my assignments, I don't really need to have perfect transmission, right? So I just need to add my little fillable boxes. So here's what I came up with for a way to come up with a completely digital classroom, right? And it's using Google Classroom. Everything's free, and you can have those fillable boxes that you want so students can submit things easily. And what I believe is best is one, do use Google Docs. For all of your assignments. If you give them a PDF or something like that, what are they going to do? They are going to try to edit it. They're going to have to download their own copy, things like that. It would be nice if students simply get the assignment, fill it out, hand it in. No mumbo jumbo. So it's the only way you'll be able to edit your document within Google Classroom. So once you create it, you don't have to be going out and constantly inserting things into Google Classroom. It's there. It can be edited. It can be changed. It's good from year to year, and that's the way to go. If it's a Word document, you're going to run into problems, right? It's easiest way for you to make fillable forms for free. All you really have to do is insert a table. I looked that up on the web, and it does seem like an excellent way to do things. So there it is right there, where that's what it looks like after you just insert a one-by-one table. The nice thing about this is that it's fillable and it will auto expand. And it's also very easy to select a different color if you want to do that. So I like this. I like this. This is a fillable form, and it's good to go. And it's the easiest way for students to submit their work. They get the assignment, their name is already going to be there, they fill it out, and they hand it in. More on that in a minute. Now you could still use PowerPoint. I wouldn't want to make a full switch to Google Slides and Google Docs. I tried that when it came out, and it's just ugly, right? If you want to try to convert your PowerPoints into Google Slides, number one, they're going to be full of glitches. Number two, you're going to hate Google Slides. So I would still use PowerPoint for most of my work, and it's great for the videos, which are a big part of teaching. Essentially, my teaching is to make a nice video, and then create either worksheets or problem sets that go with it. And I'll use PowerPoint for my documents and for my videos for sure. But then when I create the homework assignments, I'm going to create them by either switching each one into a Google Slide or a Google Doc. I still like slides. I just like the freedom of it. And I'll have those fillable forms. So using the tables method is an easy way. You just insert a one box table. It's very clear where the student should answer, right? And the formatting won't change. If you just left it blank there, you know how like you'll put a line there and then it runs into all those problems. It still just looks just like a Google form. They know where to answer it. Doesn't change your document. Gives them an idea of how much space you want them to use. So I do like that method. I like to make the student answers red, fine. The box does auto expand, which is cool, right? It auto expands and changes the formatting, so this box won't go over the next question. So very nice. And one thing that I think is important is once you've made your Google document and you put it into Google Classroom, it will give you the option to either students can view, students can edit, or make a copy for each student. Students can view is okay, but they're going to have to make a copy of it themselves so that they can submit it, which is a mild pain. Students can edit is a very bad idea because everybody, the edit would be global for every student. So the best option is make a copy for each student. That way you can see their work as it's being completed, which is a big advantage. Suppose you want to see if they've started on it yet, right? This way you'll know. You have access to their work in real time. You can make comments if they're going down a bad path, for example. Also, it's easiest for them, right? They can edit the questions, and that's might be a big concern. You're like, oh my God, they're going to actually change the questions. That would be a big no-no. I don't think you're going to experience it. Now, teachers might vary in their opinion on that, but that's what I think. And finally, is it's the easiest way for them to submit it. So this is the plan. I am going to be spending this summer creating Google Docs for all of my worksheets and problem sets. I teach high school chemistry, and for the mid-level students, I find that one-page or two-page worksheets are the way to go. It's nice and concrete. For AP, IB, and college-level chemistry, which I do teach all three of those, I find that it's best to give them a big honking problem set at the end. They can handle that kind of thing, and they can pace themselves, give them a lot of problems, and that's a good way to go for that. So that's my view on a nice way to make a digital classroom using Google Docs.